Professor Chomsky, recently has been accumulated a lot of information about the genome of Neanderthals, and particularly because of Svante Pääbo School in Leipzig and others. Some people believe that the Neanderthals were possessing language as well. Should we exclude completely Neanderthals from the possessing language, according to your opinion?
Well, there's been a lot of work coming out recently from the Max Planck Center in Nijmegen, alleging that Neanderthals had speech capacity. I think it's complete nonsense, frankly. There's a paper that just came out about it, if you're interested, came out in Frontiers of Psychology by half a dozen authors. I was one of them, but they're specialists in the topic. Dick Lewontin, one of the major evolutionary biologists, Johann Bolhuis, major student of birdsong, Mark Hauser, primatologist, Charles Yang, computational scientist, and Bob Berwick covers all these fields. It goes through all of this stuff in some detail, and I just think it's really fantasy. I mean, it's based on evidence so skimpy that you just can't build anything on it. I mean, it's true that Neanderthals did survive until maybe 30,000 years ago. And anyway, and there are sites where you have both Neanderthal and hominid, human Homo sapiens mixed. So there was interaction. One of the big discoveries, allegedly, that's excited people, is the discovery, they've done genomic analysis of Neanderthals finally. There's a Finnish scientist who's been able to do this. And it turns out that there's a small percentage of Neanderthal genes in humans, mostly I think around the Mediterranean area where there were a lot of Neanderthals. And that's supposed to mean something. It means absolutely nothing. I mean, biologists are well aware that you get species cross-fertilization at some low level, even distinct species. So this literally tells you nothing. And in fact, as far as I know, most of the evidence that's presented just doesn't stand up. I mean, if it were true, it wouldn't tell you anything. So suppose Neanderthals had also undergone whatever, or suppose that whatever this change was happened, say, 700,000 years ago, prior to the separation of Neanderthals and Homo sapiens. Okay, same problems. And an additional problem, how come for 700,000 years it never exhibited itself in the archaeological record? Another mystery. So that would simply, it's the same as true if you could, suppose you could show someday that apes, there's been an enormous effort to try to show that apes can acquire something like language. I mean, if that ever succeeded, it would be a biological miracle. It would mean that apes had this incredible capacity that has made it possible for humans to sort of take over the world, but they never thought of using it. I mean, it would be like trying to finding, say, on some desert island, a perfectly constructed bird, which had never thought of flying, until some humans came and said, hey, why don't you fly? No. I mean, it's not a logical impossibility, but no biologist should expect anything like that. And in fact, the whole enterprise is kind of senseless, in my opinion. There's no point to trying to do it. It can't work out. The fact that it doesn't work out shouldn't surprise anyone. And I think the same, at the moment, I think the same can be said about Neanderthals. But have a look at the article. It's in current issue of Frontiers.